What scientists found in a forbidden tomb in Egypt shocked the world. Unearth the unbelievable secrets of a forbidden tomb in Egypt. Join us as we dive into the mind-blowing discoveries that left scientists speechless and the world in awe. Don't miss this jaw-dropping adventure. Discoveries made at the mysterious tomb of an ancient Egyptian general. Archaeologists from the Czech Republic have just recently uncovered the mysterious tomb of an ancient Egyptian military commander who commanded an army comprised of soldiers from other countries. At the Abusir Necropolis in Giza, which is also home to the famous pyramids, an unknown tomb belonging to an Egyptian general named Wahibre-mery-Neith was discovered. The military official was in charge of a group of highly skilled soldiers hailing from the islands of the Aegean Sea and Asia Minor. His tomb was built in the 5th century BC and contained over 350 pieces of precious pottery. It also contained substances used in embalming and mummification, making it an excellent resource for learning more about these fascinating processes. His tomb dates back to the 5th century BC. This is the most extensive find ever made of objects and substances used in the mummification process inside of an Egyptian tomb. Ancient Egyptian general's tomb, shrouded in mystery. The team of archaeologists from the Czech Institute of Egyptology at Charles University in Prague discovered the military commander's sarcophagus and coffin, both of which measure 7.5 feet in length and 6 feet in width, respectively. The sarcophagus had been damaged by looters in ancient times. The stone carving of a head that had been used to decorate the coffin was broken at some point in the past. In addition to that, it held inscriptions that were taken from the Egyptian Book of the Dead. The ancient Egyptian general's own mummy was not found in his tomb by the archaeologists. However, they did find his coffin, as well as more than 400 wooden figures carved to serve as his slaves in the afterlife, religious texts, and a great number of priceless objects. The fact that his tomb was incomplete when he was interred lends credence to the theory that his passing was unexpected or sudden. Ancient Greek artifacts were discovered in a shipwreck off the coast of Egypt. In the waters off the coast of Alexandria, an ancient shipwreck containing ancient Greek treasures and dating back to the Ptolemaic era of Egypt was discovered. The European Institute for Underwater Archaeology, EASM, which is headed by the researcher Frank Gaudio, is the organization that made the announcement. The shipwreck was discovered in the Bay of Abukir in the sunken, lost ancient city of Heraklion, also known as Thonis, close to Alexandria. It dates back to the waning days of the pharaohs, during which time the Greek civilization enjoyed a great deal of influence in Egypt. According to a press release issued by Gaudio, the ship sank as a result of being struck by enormous blocks that originated from the temple of Amun, which was completely demolished as a result of the catastrophic event that took place in the 2nd century BCE. When the catastrophe struck, the ship was safely secured at a wharf in the canal that flowed along the south side of the temple. This ancient Greek shipwreck was actually preserved thanks to the fallen blocks because they pinned it to the bottom of the deep canal. The canal was subsequently filled with clay and the debris that was left over from the sanctuary. The wreck of the ship can be found buried beneath 5 meters or 15 feet of compacted clay, along with the ruins of the tomb hunter. Other archaeologists working in the Valley of the Kings had discovered small items bearing Tuts' name over the years. A cup, a jar, a piece of linen, but his tomb, or his mummy, had never been discovered. These experts eventually became convinced that they had discovered everything in this location. However, British archaeologist Howard Carter believed that Tut's tomb could still be found. Carter and a wealthy British man, Lord Carnarvon, began looking for Tut in 1917, carefully digging in the sand all the way down to the bedrock in each section where they looked to ensure they didn't miss anything. Carnarvon was ready to give up after years of searching for Tut. Carter requested only a few more months. The team discovered what appeared to be a step buried in the sand 3 days after beginning this latest search. They discovered more steps leading down as they removed the sand and debris. Finally, they came across a plaster doorway imprinted with a name, Tutankhamun, taking the lid off the tomb. However, these explorers were skeptical that they would find anything inside. Almost all of the valley's tombs had been robbed in ancient times, leaving few items behind. Furthermore, the plaster had been broken and resealed. When they peered inside the small hole, they discovered a nearly complete tomb. Details of the room emerged slowly from the mist. Strange animals, statues, and gold everywhere. The glint of gold. Carter later wrote, "What is kept in a pharaoh's tomb? The ancient Egyptians believed it was necessary to fill it with everything a ruler might need in the afterlife. And because they believed the afterlife would be similar to normal life, they packed everyday items such as clothing, food, beds, chariots, headrests, and games. The pharaoh would also require all of his ceremonial items such as thrones, statues, and jewelry. Workers also added a few magical items such as shaptis, which were small human statues that people believed would serve the ruler in the afterlife. Carter and his team spent more than 2 months removing and cataloging the over 600 items in the first room, dubbed the antechamber by Carter. Things were a little disorganized. Ancient looters had broken into the tomb at least twice and rifled through Tut's treasures in search of jewelry and other items to sell. Fortunately, the robbers were stopped before they could take everything, but the guards didn't care about putting things back in order. Instead, they simply tossed the remaining items back inside the tomb and sealed it up again. Carter then entered the burial chamber. A large golden shrine or box filled almost the entire space in the room. 3 other shrines, a stone sarcophagus, 3 golden coffins, and finally, Tutankhamun's mummy were all nested within it. Carter then dug a room he called the treasury, which contained a smaller shrine containing Tut's organs that had been removed during mummification. A statue of Anubis, the god of mummification and the dead, appeared to guard the room. Finally, the team removed the items from the annex, a room containing over 2,000 items. The Curse of Pharaoh? Carter spent nearly a decade removing over 5,000 items from the tomb. People all over the world who followed his work in newspapers and on radio were ecstatic. In fact, US President Herbert Hoover named one of his dogs King Tut. People were intrigued for another reason. Lord Carnarvon, Carter's wealthy funder, died from an infected mosquito bite just 6 months after opening the tomb. When Carter gave a tomb object to a friend, that man's house burned down, was rebuilt, and then flooded. Some believe it was retaliation for opening Tut's tomb, but Carter lived another 17 years. King Tut's tomb remains the most intact royal Egyptian tomb ever discovered, providing historians with valuable information about this ancient culture. Although the pharaohs who succeeded that wanted him forgotten, he is now regarded as one of the most famous ancient rulers of all time. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest videos. See you in the next one.